Hey, what is up guys? So welcome to my HOTS tier list for patch 17.1. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. If you guys are just interested in watching what the tier list is via the text, I'll go ahead and leave that down below in the description box because some people they just want to see that visually and then want to see where I would rank one of their heroes. But I'm going to go ahead and explain why I put these heroes in what tier list. I pretty much feel like every hero in the game is viable right now. There's not one hero that I think is so trash that he's unplayable, with the exception of Malf. And I'll get to my reasons why once we get to Malf. But for the most part, I think every hero is viable. Some take more skill than others, and that can be mechanics or game knowledge, or just on certain maps they will be good, and on certain other maps it just won't be as great. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be going through it from A to Z, so we'll go from left to right. So anyways, first off we have Abathur. I find Abathur to be, oh, by the way, I'm going to put them in three categories. There's tier 1, which is high priority / really good, and then there's going to be tier 2, which I consider viable, and tier 3, I feel like they need a buff, but it could be pretty minor, just to make them a little bit more competitive with some of the other heroes right now in the game. But anyways, Abathur, I consider him really high priority pick if you have the skill for him. He does take a little bit of skill and a little coordination, and you have to know what maps he excels at. So I find him to be very high tier. I consider him in the tier 1 category. Next up, Anubarak. He's only good, in my personal opinion, against certain compositions that rely on one certain hero. So if they go like Abathur, Tassadar, and Illidan, they obviously are going to be playing the give Illidan everything game. So things like Anubarak, things like Brightwing can kind of counter those things. Obviously Anubarak has the web, you have the double knockup. So he can be kind of used. He used to be one of the best heroes in the game. They've nerfed him so many times that I don't even like touching him. In the past, like, it was literally Anubarak every single game for me if I was playing ranked. Like, he was so fun to play. He just doesn't have the amount of damage, and his locusts don't work the way they used to. So I find him to be in the tier 2. I think he's only good against certain compositions. Again, it comes down to like the protect that one hero composition. And so yeah, that's why I put him in the tier 2 category. Otherwise, if he was the way he was before, I'd put him in tier 1. Right now, I don't think there's anyone that is broken. When Tracer comes out, she'll probably be broken, and they'll maybe patch her later down the line. But I almost guarantee Tracer is going to be the only hero that I would consider tier 0, but she's not out by the time I'm making this video. Next up, we have Artanis. I feel like Artanis, like, mostly Artanis players go in so ham. I'm not sure if you guys notice this, but they go in so hard and they die every single time. I consider him in, like, the tier 2/3. I don't think he's, like, inherently bad, but I think the majority of the players that play him like to go in so deep that they die like, I got that shield. It's like, your shield doesn't proc every, like, 2 seconds. Like, they go in too ham. I don't like it when I have an Artanis on my team. Just as a heads up. If someone picks him, I won't flame him though. Like, I believe everyone can play well as any hero. It just comes down to, just things just going, the right way. It just happens. But I consider him in like the tier 2/3 because I just want to keep it in 3 tiers so it's easier for some of the newer players to kind of understand which heroes that they should maybe invest into. So yeah, I'd say he's like 2/3. He's not like terrible, but again, it all comes down to the majority of the players that play him. Arthas, I consider him in tier 2. I don't think he's like bad, but I don't think he's like super high priority. It's not like people are gonna be like, oh, ban Arthas. It just doesn't happen. Next up, Dehaka. This guy, he technically relies on your team. I consider him around the tier 1/2 because he requires your team to follow up, because he can't really gank on his own very well. You have to land your stuff, and on top of that, his isolation is a great thing to have, but even then, he can't really kill someone on his own. He relies on your team. Next up, we have Diablo. I think he's still one of the better tanks in the game. Muradin has always been the high tier in tanks. Tier 1. I still consider Diablo tier 1. The reason why is because as a tank, he has one of the biggest potentials to have a wombo combo automatic win the fight because of a great ult. In addition to that, he does deal quite a bit of damage. He does require a little bit of skill though, so I would consider him a little bit more difficult to play than other heroes. Next up, ETC. He gets banned quite often now. He's a great hero. You just need to get one of those game-breaking ults and you win the game. He does get, like I said, banned quite often because of that, but I would consider him a high priority pick. He does get banned, again, quite often. Next up, Falstead. The fact that you can get that talent where it's just like, oh, permanently increase my hammer every time I hit someone, fantastic talent. Like late game, you like basically hit someone once and goes back, hits them again, you kill them. Like, it's ridiculous. So I consider Falstead tier 1 definitely like high priority pick. He does get banned, so be aware of that if you are going to be playing him. Next up, the Gazelow. I consider him in like the tier 2 category because there are certain maps that he can't excel at. I don't really like playing against I like playing against Gazelow because he generally doesn't do too much, but if you know what you're doing, you can do work with Gazelow. Next up, Kerrigan. I find her to be under the tier 2 category. She doesn't get banned. She's not like a high priority pick, but she is definitely viable, and she can technically have some game breaking, I wouldn't say ults, so to speak. It's more just like the combo that she lands. But there's so many heroes that have so many like dodges, like especially if you're playing against like LiLi. Like, good luck, you know. Everything is way too slow to hit some of the heroes in the game. And especially against good players, Kerrigan, it just isn't as great. Obviously, if you're playing like quick match, and yeah, she's going to be much better. Next up, Karazim. I think he's tier 2. He's not like a high priority pick. As far as healers go right now, I feel like Morales is definitely like the only one I think is like the best. It does require your team to kind of follow up on it and also kind of have a little bit more coordination. But, you know, Karazim's not bad. He's not like a terrible healer. Leoric, he can be good against certain things that have a lot of health. But for the most part, I would say Muradin is just like the best tank in the game. The reason why I almost consider Muradin kind of in a tier 0-ish category, the reason why is because I don't think that you should be able to proc your passive while Abathur is up, and Abathur can go down and you still have the passive applying, unless of course they change this by the time you guys see this video. I think that should be changed, so you can be Abathur, pop your passive, your passive can still be proccing, and then your Abathur form can go away, but it'll still register at the health at that time that it was activated. I don't know if that's intentional, but I think that is kind of unfair. He just doesn't die. I also think it just everything about Muradin makes him in like the tier 1/0 category. Next up, LiLi. She's okay. She's great against like things like Illidan, blinds, obviously pretty good. Ming gets banned quite a bit. She's great for sieging. She's great for a lot of different things. I think she's very good, so I would consider her in the tier 1 category. I don't think she's broken anymore. She was really good, but they've changed a lot of her damage and stuff like that. So she's still very good, and she still gets banned literally 99% of games. She either gets picked or banned 100% of games. That's just pretty much how it is. But yeah, she's still very good, but Kael has gotten a huge buff, and I think he's very viable now. Nizibu, tier 2, I think that he's definitely viable, but against some of the things that you want to hit, they can avoid it. For example, like LiLi can just like dodge out of it, you know, especially with Tracer coming out in the game. That's going to be like a target that you would like to kill, because I'm assuming Tracer is going to be considered. I'm pretty sure she's already announced that she's an assassin. So like those certain targets that you want to hit, you're just not going to be able to hit them down. You're not going to hold down LiLi. You're not going to hold down Tracer. And so like that's, I mean, I guess maybe against Kael that could be an option, but for the most part, a good player, unless there's a stun involved, then you'll be good to go and be able to get rid of it. But he's okay. Nova, I think, I love this skin for Nova, but yeah, Nova I think is relatively good. I just don't like the way she plays right now. I consider her in tier 2/3. I don't trust most of my teammates that pick her, because I feel like the best way to play her is to get the build where you go for the sniping, and you just don't miss your shots. You get at 7. Where is it? Okay, here it is. At level 7, it's called Snipe Master. So as long as you gain stacks, you're going to consistently be able to deal a good amount of damage. Unfortunately, with Rewind and the clone, you can't burst anyone like you used to be able to, and that's why I don't like her as much. But I think she's still definitely viable. A lot of people think she sucks, but I disagree. I think she's good. You just have to be, you know, high skill cap. Not really even high skill cap. It's more so, it's not mechanics. It's more so just map awareness. Being able to just know what targets to hit and when to hit them. Next up, Raynor. I consider him tier 2, tier 1 maybe. I don't think he's a high priority pick, but he's still definitely good. Rehgar is a really good healer. I would consider him like in team comps. I would consider him much higher value, just because you can position yourself better. But in quick match, or not quick match, but just in solo queue, you're gonna have sometimes those times where people go in so ham that like you have to go and heal them, and then they can focus you, and then Rehgar can't ult himself anymore. So that can become a problem. So I consider him like tier 1/2. Like, he is a pretty high priority pick. But when you're playing against, or you're playing with people that you don't know, you can't trust them, they might go in too hard, you gotta go rush it, and then you get stunned. Like, you're trying to keep the tank alive, but you should just let them die, because, yeah, if they're going too stupidly, so to speak, and then they'll complain that you didn't ult them, and you're like, well, you were too far away, and then like you get stunned. And Rehgar can die relatively quick again because you can't ult him. You can't ult yourself. Rehgar is actually one of like the lowest like picked heroes in the game. Like that and like last Vikings, you like very rarely see this. Rehgar I think is actually pretty decent. I don't know if he supports like tank, so to speak, as well as other heroes, because Misha can be a real dingus sometimes, and sometimes as a tank you want to body block and you want to position yourself, which you can do, but your main role is like Misha anyways. I know you can take control over Misha when you faint, but for the most part, I just don't think he does his job very well, so I think maybe a rework could be something that they can look and do for him, because no one's playing him. I understand no one plays Vikings because they're too difficult, and even myself, I play StarCraft, I'm Masters, and like playing Vikings is very, very difficult. So like I feel like Vikings aren't like they're not seeing play because like no one really likes them. It's just they're too difficult. But they should be like that. I'm glad that they have a hero like that. But with Rehgar, I just feel like maybe people just don't like him. I don't really know what the deal is with Rehgar. Just no one plays him. I don't think he's bad either. It's just maybe they should rework him. Butcher, I consider him tier 2. He's good against certain things that you can pot. You can do silence. I personally prefer Furnace Blast in combination with Li Ming, or anything that get reset. You can go with like Greymane. So you guarantee that one kill. As long as you get that one kill, if you get the right abilities at level 1, you can get the victuals, and then you can get 9% of your health. And again, if you're like minions in lane, like you can heal up a lot. Again, it combos well with things that want to burst 100 to 0 relatively quick, and then causing them to get reset. So like you can try with Kerrigan, but for the most part, I think Li Ming and Greymane are like the main ones that you want to try to get resets with. So yeah, I consider him tier 2. He needs to build stacks. Vikings, I think that they are tier 1. But most players can't play them. I even myself, I really can't play them to their potential. Thrall, I consider Thrall tier 1. I think he's really, really good. He's probably one of the better 1v1s. He can have sustain, he can poke. I think he's just a fantastic hero. His lightning is crazy, man. He did take a small nerf, but the nerf is so small I wouldn't consider it anything. Tychus, I would consider him tier 1. The reason why I consider him tier 1, if you guys haven't seen him with the new buffs, he literally takes very, very, very little skill, and what you get out of him is ridiculous. I consider him someone that no one really picks, but I feel like a lot of people, once they like see how good Tychus is, and like literally you can just walk up to a Li Ming and you can just hit Q and she dies. She can blink, it doesn't matter. You just go forward and you just use your minigun. You outskill her by doing nothing. Like it is kind of frustrating as Li Ming to lose to something like that early game, but yeah, that's what Tychus can do. Zol tier 1, one of like the greatest specialists in the game. He can tank relatively well. He can do damage. He can siege. Zol's just like one of the best heroes I think right now in the game. Zagara kind of lost a lot of her abilities to just like be able to siege plus like deal damage, because I think Zol just, I know they're kind of different in a sense, but Zol has that bone armor and he has the ability to root, and it's just like Zagara's kind of outclassed in that sense because he can siege pretty decently too, and he can like shove multiple lanes. He just like rotates, and he doesn't have that early mana problem that I feel like Zagara really has. Next up, Zeratul. I consider Zeratul in tier 1/2. He takes a lot of skill to play, and it's more so map awareness for the most part. But there is a lot of skill, and there's a lot of swag combos you can do. You can teleport, dodge things. Dang, I should have loaded up the video where I can show you guys all like the dodge mechanics, where you can just, you're literally dodging things before they even happen, because you can preemptively assume things are going to happen. Like if you walk up to a Li Ming, the first thing that she should be doing, well, it depends I guess on the build also, but the first thing that she's going to do, she's going to assume you're going to instantly use Shadow Assault Shoe, so she's going to try to blink and get as far away as possible, as long as you get the first auto in, or you can just go ahead and blink auto, and then once she can proc her ability to teleport again, you can then, activate the ability Vorpal Blade to go back onto her. And again, it depends on what build that the Li Ming has, but for the most part, you can go on her pretty hard, and you can preemptively do things because you're going to assume that she's going to use certain abilities, but he's a higher skill cap hero. Azmodan, I think he's pretty good. I think he's in the tier 2 category though, because he's not like I gotta pick Azmodan, or my teammates are gonna be upset that I was first pick and I didn't pick him. I think he's very good, but he needs to get the stack, so he takes a while to build. Brightwing, I think Brightwing is in tier like 1 or 2, depending on like the way that you play them. I think that you have to have a decent amount of time knowledge, like certain things rotate on maps, like for example on Sky Temple at like 4 4 minutes-ish, you want to be capping the top bruiser camp, so you got to be aware that, like, you know, you can go back during certain time intervals, and then you have to go to bot. Like, you have to have a little bit of time knowledge to when you can back out, because there's an objective coming up. It obviously warns you ahead of time, but that's not enough if you want to, like, be better at HOTS. But yeah, I consider him tier 2. Chen, tier 2. The problem that I have with Chen is that if you interrupt his drinking, like for example, if you're playing Chen and the other team has, like, I don't know, let's say a like Muradin, a Sonya, just things that just interrupt. As Chen, like, you'll do nothing when you don't have energy, so at that point Chen is useless. So I feel like that's why I don't really like him as a tank, because he can suffer from the ability that he does not have his energy, therefore he can't play the game, and that is caused by you interrupting him when he's drinking his barrel. Next up, Cho and Gall, I consider them tier like 2. I think they're very good, but you have to have good coordination, obviously, if you're playing them, like... Yeah, you gotta have coordination. Greymane, I consider him a high priority pick. I would consider him in the tier 1 category. They've changed the way his bottle works. It doesn't like 360 hit people behind him anymore. Like, that was pretty dumb. But seriously, that was like, I think, bugged anyways. But yeah, I think he's pretty good. He's probably one of like the heroes in the game that can burst relatively well. Kerrigan can burst relatively well. I guess Li can kind of burst, but I think he bursts harder than Li. He's just very, very aggressive, and I like that. So I consider him high priority pick. Illidan, he's gone through some reworks. The rework was amazing, and then they nerfed him a little bit, and I was sad, but then he's still pretty good, so I was like, oh, let's go, man. I consider him in tier 1 if you have the skill. He does take a lot of skill. The reason why is because now with 30% instead of 40%, you lost a huge amount. That's 1/4 of your healing, generally, and that could be even more later down the line if you build him a certain way. But for the most part, I find Illidan to be super, super good, but you have to have a lot more skill with him now. And that's fine with me. It doesn't bother me. I still like Illidan. I think he's like the most entertaining hero to play because of the swag combos that you can do, the things that you can do against LiLi and Jaina, Kael'Thas by dodging like literally everything. It's just awesome. Next up, Jaina. I think Jaina is pretty decent. I consider her in tier 2. She's not like high priority pick. She doesn't really get banned too often. Johanna, I consider her in like tier 2. She's much better in certain maps. You just need to like contest and hold things, or she can be technically used on Infernal Shrines relatively well, just because of her ability to bring everything close and also do some damage. So yeah, I consider her an okay tank. Kael'Thas, I consider Kael'Thas pretty good with the new thing that just happened to him. I know that he was disabled for a while because of the glitch. During that glitch, obviously he was tier 0, but at the same time it doesn't matter because it was a bug anyway, so I don't think that we should factor that into why am I putting him on tier 1. I still think he's really good right now, just because of the way he is, like, his role in the game. As a like mage, there's no one that has a really great stun, so to speak. I know you can, I mean, I guess Thrall, you can kind of consider Thrall like a mage, and he can be a little bit bursty, but I think Kael'Thas is, his ability, oh, does it tell me the passive, the Verdant Spheres, more powerful is it? Does it actually tell you the on the abilities? So during Gravity Lapse, the fact that you can stun 3 enemies is insane. That's super high skill cap though, but I still consider him tier 1 just because that potential play is there. And if you like knock everyone, oh, it's so good when he does it, and he knocks 3 with his Gravity Lapse. But I consider him tier 1. He does get banned or picked majority of games. Next up, best hero in the game, Morales. You do have to have a little bit of coordination, as in you don't walk out of her heal, or she knows how to rotate in between healing which target at the right times. I think she's the best healer in the game. And in addition to that, I also really love it because if I play Illidan and we get a Morales, I'm just like, oh, I can go in so hard and no one's gonna stop me, and I love it. It's just a blast. Next up, Lunara. Oh yeah, medic. Did I say tier 1? Tier 1 medic. Yeah. Next up, Lunara. Lunara is okay. I consider her tier 2. She doesn't burst. She just like kind of wastes people time and just dot damage for days. Yeah, I consider her tier 2. You have a little bit of room for outplays when you get the jump ult, but for the most part, yeah. Only hero that I consider, like, I don't even feel like Mouth needs a buff though. I feel like it's just the way Mouth works is that it's a heal over time, and I don't really like heroes that are a heal over time unless you're playing against a composition that has no healer. Like, I think Mouth is, I can go on for like 4 hours talking about how I don't like when there's a Malf healer on my team. But I'm not one of those HOTS players that will be like, wow, I can't believe you picked Malf. I'm just like, whatever. If they hover over Malf, I'll ask them, hey, you know, do you want me to play healer or something else? I just don't think Malf works in our composition. I'll try to work with them. I'm not one of those guys, again, that will complain. But there are people that complain about Malf's healing, especially if you're matched up against like a Greymane and then like they got LiLi too. It's like, why are you picking Malf? Because it's just not advantageous. He's the only hero that I just dislike to see on my team. If they got a Malf, I laugh. I'm like, we got it, boys. There is, however, one kind of build that it was called #WasteThisTime build, and like basically you have so many split pushers, and then you just recall, and Malf can also sustain like other people. But for the most part, I don't think he's viable. Especially like, I don't like Malf. I know his ult is like it can be okay, but for the most part, I don't like Malf. That's the only hero I will consider him like tier 4. Like I don't like him on my team. He's not really honestly that bad, but I just think he's bad. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Malf if you guys have opinions. Muradin tier 0, best broken mechanics. I think, you know, you shouldn't be able to proc in Avatar form as your passive. It was the second the healing wind. What is his second wind? Shouldn't be able to proc in Avatar form because that additional health. I mean, it does say that you, what is it? There's a passive that, like, it's a trait that you get or something like that. It procs, and I don't think it should proc the way it procs. Muradin is just so easy to play, and, like, what you get out of him, especially, well, I also think he's really good because if I pick Illidan and they get Muradin, I'm just like, oh, don't like that. But, yeah, that's just my thoughts on, Muradin. I think he's great. He's, like, probably the best tank, and probably will stay one of the best tanks for a long time. Oh, I'm not even streaming when we get people to follow. Too good, man. Anyways, Murky over here. Murky, I think, is pretty good. I think he's tier, like, 2, though. I don't think he's high priority pick. But Muradin, like, tier 1. Tier 0-ish 1. I don't know. If they change the avatar, I'll be like, okay, he's tier 1. He's a high priority pick or ban. Next up, Sgt Hammer. I think she's okay on certain maps, so I'll give her a tier 2. Sonya, okay. I think she's, like, tier 2-ish. She's, again, not high priority pick. Stitches, I'd say tier 2, not high priority pick. He's okay. He can be good again in the right hands. These all can be good on certain maps. Like, for example, when it's the, what is it? The one where you have to capture the altars and the core doesn't actually have health. You capture things and it shoots things at it. Sorry, I forgot. Towers of Doom, that's what it's called. Towers of Doom, I like it because the wall re-heals and you can still, like, if you lose the wall, wait, do you get the gate? I think that, I know that you don't get the towers back. I think you, I don't remember if they've changed that. I don't remember. At one point though, the gates came back. I'm pretty sure they changed it. So if the gates don't come back, then never mind about me talking about Stitches on that map, because the idea was that you could still technically maintain that wall throughout the majority of the game. But on the Towers of Doom, there is a spot in the top, like, right or top left, well, depending on where you angle it. I wish I could just, like, open up a picture of the map, but there's a way where you can grab someone and you can body block them. It's pretty good. Also on the Cursed, there's a lot of body blocks. So certain maps, and you have to have coordination with Stitches to wall off certain areas. He can be very good. Sylv, I consider her tier 2. If your team is good enough, I would consider her tier 1 on Infernal, because you can get so much value out of the Punisher that pushes. So yeah, I would consider her pretty much just tier 2. With the, at least now she has another ult. I complained about the ult for so long. The one where you could possess a minion, it's like, well, no thanks. Like, no one got that, right? So I'm glad that they changed it. Very, very good. She actually has 2 ults now. Next up, we got Trump 2016, gotta build those walls. Tassadar, I think he's tier 2. I think he's pretty good. But not high priority pick. Tyrael, I want Tyrael to get a small buff. They can nerf Sanctuary, I don't care about that. I know that that's what makes him good, but I don't really like that. To be honest, I always end up getting, well, majority of the time I will say, because there are times where I'm like, okay, my team sucks, I'll get this. But like, if I'm feeling confident, which is like 99% of the time, because even if we're behind, I'm like, nah, guys, we got this. I love Judgment so much. It's just so satisfying to go in, knock everyone out, and it's just like, it stuns them for 1.5 seconds. And then you can follow up with a Tyran stun, and just like, I love Judgment so much. I just want him to get buffed, and the buff wouldn't even be his traits. I want him to get a mana regen buff. That's all I really want out of Tyrael, and he'd just be much more fun, in my personal opinion, to play, but I would consider him like tier 2. Some maps you can consider him tier 1 because you can Sanctuary contest for days. Tyran, I consider her tier 1. on certain maps, high priority picks, specifically on Sky Temple. She can be great. Well, she can be great. Like in the right hands, she's like tier 0. Like she always gets banned anyways if you play competitive. Like in solo queue, she doesn't get banned that often, honestly. Next up, Abathur. I think he's tier 2. He's like okay, not high priority pick. Lastly, Vala. I consider her tier 2 now. I used to consider her tier 1, but because of all of like the reworks and like just how like the heroes play now, she's just not as good anymore. And I like the auto attack build, and that's the build that got buffed, but just she's still good, but I just feel like Rehgar just does everything she does better. Like if you just want to auto something, Rehgar has a stun, he has like hit R, and then like Hyperion comes out and it's like I win the fight, like, or you can see just I feel like Rehgar is just a better Vala, and at that point why not just play Rehgar? Alright, so that's my tier list, and a lot of you guys that are watching this, if you I assume most of you guys like typed it in on my Twitch page. If you type an exclamation mark like Illidan or exclamation mark anything on my Twitch chat, you will see that it pops up with the builds too for a lot of the heroes. I'm working on trying to get a build for nearly every hero. Like there's some heroes that I honestly don't play enough, for example like Rehgar, to really understand them. But I feel like I pretty much can give you guys a build for majority of the heroes, and they're builds that I like. So if some of them take too much skill, or you don't like the way that they play, like for example, I like high skill cap builds. Like I like going Nova, where if you miss a shot you lose. I like Zera with gathering power. If you die you lose a lot of your DPS. I like things that are high risk, but obviously have a good reward. Some players don't like to do that. Like for example, like Ming, they don't like glass cannon. I love glass cannon. I feel like if you go for like the talents, like at level 1 Aether Walker, if you can Aether Walker, you can successfully, if you're good enough, you can dodge everything. Again, it has to be against certain compositions. You can't like be like, I'm gonna dodge everything against a comp with Vala and Rehgar. Like, it's not gonna happen. I'm talking about, or like if they've got a Thrall, the lightning's just gonna bounce you. But if they've got things like a Kael'Thas, maybe a Jaina, where you literally can pretty much dodge majority of the abilities and you can sit back, great, that is awesome, because you are going to be able to be much more successful at that hero, and especially if you get that talent, you don't even have to go like super like scared. What you can do is, since Aether Walker has that ability, what is it with Diamond Skin? Is it 16? For 4 seconds, so you can proc Diamond Shield multiple times before before the fight even happens. You can proc it twice, and at that point, when you go Glass Cannon, the mitigation is kind of neutralized right there. At that point, but yeah, some builds, like I said, they're going to be a little bit higher skill cap for some newer players, so I won't say that there's one specific build for every single hero, but this question gets asked all the time, so I'm going to go ahead and just make this real quick. For this patch, let's go ahead and go to the shop, and let's go ahead and sort by ascending prices. So pretty much heroes that are 4,000 and under are what I'm going to be looking at. What I can recommend for newer players: Muradin if you want a tank, Rehgar if you want damage. Zagara is really outclassed right now, but if you want a specialist, I feel like Zagara can be there, but she's not that great. Tychus can also be great. Jaina can be okay. She technically, you need to like be able to land stuff, and if you don't, it can be really bad. So I would say that Rehgar, I know Rehgar and Tychus are basically autos, so it might not be as fun for you, but if you really want to get good, so to speak, you can learn Jaina. I think she's definitely viable. I do not recommend Kerrigan. For how much skill that is required to play her, you don't get that much out of it. You can get way more out of just playing Tychus or Rehgar and be much better off. But yeah, those are the heroes that I recommend that are like 4,000 and under as far as gold goes. I do not recommend Illidan at all because he's a lot more difficult to play. But if you feel like, you know what, I'm just going to toughen it out, I'm going to get good at the game, I can recommend you to try out Illidan. But again, if you guys have any suggestions or if you disagree with me on anything, I would love to know why, and maybe I can change my list. But again, thanks for watching, and if you have any suggestions for, like, I don't know, any of the heroes and, like, you know, why I put them there, or like you think I should move a hero up or down, whatever, let me know in the comment section below. But thanks for watching, guys, and good luck playing some HOTS.